Hey friends, I hope you're doing really well. This is Tracy Brown, and my team and I provide non-diet nutrition counseling that's trauma-informed so you can feel safer in your own skin. And I know when I'm doing this video, it is at the end of the year 2024, and I probably don't, at this point, have a client who, on some level, the spectrum of capacity and learning, is actually learning about the fact that when we are trying to do this pretty heavy-duty dismantling and basically dismantling of what's not truth and what's not supportive or thriving, producing, that we're doing all that work, and it's laborious but good labor, and then we're hit with certain times a year, right? And whether you celebrate this time of year or not, it may be that you just have a whole lot of stuff happening that's not your typical daily, weekly stuff, right? And so oftentimes we minimize the impact. If, let's say, your capacity is this big, but you put another thing in there. So we're gonna talk about spoons today, and spoons just means like, well, how many do I have to do not only the recovery work, but the daily living now, plus like, this is a big spoon, right? So this could be like a really big thing that's happening in your life right now, a sickness, financial stuff, a big relational rupture maybe. And then this one's just like too many commitments. And this one's like maybe, having a hard time, there's just more other people's stuff in your system too. Other people's, maybe needs are taken care of, they're extra too. And then you've got like maybe something some memory that's coming up from this time of year, from whatever many years ago, that's popping up because of the work you're doing in sessions. And then you got this, and then you got all the maybe little extra things too, like invites and all the things, and you're trying to navigate all that. That's a lot, right? The hold. And so sometimes we don't have, our window was this big, working on the things we've already been working on. And then you add all this in. Guess what tends to be the first thing that pops off, like kind of falls off after we get in too much like fight or flight or freeze or please, with all this extra stuff that's happening this time of year for some people. Not everyone, but for some people. Our sleep tends to go, our water intake tends to go, our eating regularly tends to go. Sometimes even our shopping and our cooking tends to go, because we think all these things are just more important just because they popped in and what we're used to doing in a fight or flight or freeze or please state. We tend to, especially depending on our history, we tend to think other people's needs are more important, or the parties are more important, or the traditions are more important. Or other people's ask are more important. Whether that's school, whether that's work, whether that's kids' activities, or maybe there's extra expectations. I mean, this could be that one that you didn't have, 2 months ago. It's all a lot, right? And so I just share this little, illustration here, just to kind of like, oh, that makes sense why recovery feels harder right now, or it's all the things, because there's just more relational stuff, and there's just more stuff. And some of the work that I would encourage you to do is take that time, like I usually encourage, sheet of paper, pen, look at the hours in your day, and then the things of the week, and start to prioritize. And you might find there's some things that you're doing that you don't want to be doing, because one, you just don't want to be doing it, and two, it's actually kind of like crowding out your journal time or your meal prep time to be able to eat enough food so that you don't feel kind of grabby at night, or whatever it is. Recovery is precious, and it can be kind of fragile sometimes. And I'm not saying that like your whole life needs to be about that, but it doesn't need to be discarded either just because other people or other stuff is coming into your window. All right. So this is just a prioritizing kind of encouragement video today, just to kind of help you reset, get regrounded, go back to the basics if you need to. All right. So I hope this was encouraging to you, that it makes sense why you might be feeling overwhelmed, or you want to shut down, or you want to run away, or it's a little bit like, oh, like, how am I going to do all this? Usually we can't. We have to prioritize, shift things, hang on to some things that are precious to you, and maybe let go of some things that aren't so much this year, or maybe they never were, so everybody's situation is unique. If you need some help with that, that's kind of what we do, and I'd be happy to help you kind of get your priorities in order and help you kind of, look at what is in your values and what is just something that you autopilotly do, regardless of what it is that's might be impacting your food. So thanks so much for watching, and talk to you all real soon. Bye for now.